another each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Oh. I didn't put these in the right place. All right. I was at 113. All right. As you can see, I've got a co-host. His name is Jack. Huh. Yeah. Really wants his attention. He's got goop in his ass, huh? Let's get that. At 1K, gets a lot of goop. It's the other reason they love me, because I clean them. Huh. Huh. I do, huh? Yes, because you go make your little faces you do. Yes, you do. Mama. He's got a little, it's hard to see, but he's got a goatee. Right there, he's got a goatee. Right there. There it is. There it is. So, yeah. This cat doesn't understand boundaries yet. That's for darn sure. That's for darn sure. You do not understand boundaries. You're just a little kid who wants what he wants. Huh? Yeah. You're just glad you don't live on the streets anymore, huh? Yes. Hello, Jealous Sawyer. All right. Welcome. Do 4 agreements. Leisure brought this up a little while back, a few days ago. Actually, I think it was Friday. Thursday, Friday. He asked if I would do the 4 agreements. It's just one of those things that's out there that kind of applies to what we do. Trying to have patience. I was supposed to talk to my daughter at 4. Now it's like 4:03. I'm like, I gotta waste another half hour because I'm not gonna do anything that really requires me emailing or texting or. It's one of those days. Just one of those days. I'm gonna check something real quick. Somebody jumped on the Daily Trudge, and I bet they tried to do their thing. It's not showing up. Okay. Doesn't matter. There's some mushroom people out there that consistently trying to, but it doesn't show up here anymore. I have it blocked. It'll show up as a hidden comment on the Daily Trudge. Hey, Clara, I really like what you just posted. That was cool. Thank you for doing that. And thank you for adding to the grassroots group. I appreciate that too. Absolutely. There's a lot of new people joining that group, and by new people, I mean new to the program, not been to the program before. So I'm glad that they can go to a spot where there's, good stuff, man. Yeah, I don't think the hating people is necessarily going to go away that soon. I can never just get over it. That's not how it works for me. There's a process for sure. I just had therapy, and I'm still as mad as I was. It hasn't changed, but at least I was able to get some bullshit off my chest and clear it up, right? I've been sucking on my CBD because when I get upset like this, my heart rate goes. Whoop. So yeah, it's CBD. It's not THC, CBD. All right, just helps bring you down. There's no high or anything like that. So, all right. Of course, I have something to read from here to kind of help out with that. Yeah, it did. It really fit, didn't it? Yeah. So what's neat about what we do? A lot of things fit, right? What I talk about with when it comes to the program is I can take one topic and another one and they'll fit. Doesn't matter what they are. Because everything is connected. It's really just down to some basic things. Honesty, open-mindedness, willingness, fear, resentment, anger. These are basic things, but they tie into each other, right? Having a good attitude, bad attitude. That's why whenever you go to a meeting and they talk about exactly what you need to hear, that's why. And it's one reason that the AA program works so well, right? Hey, Michelle, it's good to see you again. Good to see you again. We had a great noon meeting today. Really getting to know each other in that meeting too. And I think it's important that you can consistently go somewhere with the same people and they kind of get to know you, right? I hate having to repeat myself. Actually, I love it. If I'm the center of attention, then I love it. But when it comes to some things, I don't like repeating myself. So let's go ahead and get started. Welcome, Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I went to Billy Joel. I've seen Billy Joel in concert more times than any other artist or band, including live. There's a tie for the second. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. And you're going to be kind of surprised on what the top ones are. It is live, band live, and Paul Abdul. I've seen Paul Abdul 4 times. Gonna be you and me forever. Oh, oh, oh. You want to know why I saw her so many times? She is a phenomenal tap dancer. Phenomenal. And there's something about tap dancing. I wish it would make a comeback. There's just something about it. I think maybe it's the cadence or the rhythm of it that I really enjoy. She's cute too, so that helps. It was just a fun concert. So a little something about me that you may not have known. The 4 Agreements was written by a dude named Don Miguel Ruiz, right? I bring some of this stuff up because it just kind of gives us a different purview of maybe, there does get a point in the program where knowledge is power again. Knowledge itself will not get you sober. It will not get you sober, but sure fuck will keep you sober. Yes, it will. Not only that, but the more knowledgeable I am, the more I can help other people, the more useful I am in society, right? So, and understanding how these things connect will help me to understand myself a little bit better, therefore passing on, because you can't transmit something you do not have, right? Right. First agreement is be impeccable with your word. Right. And I kind of like, they gave a little description here of it. And I like the description they gave of this one. Speak with integrity. Tell the truth. Right. Even if it means that you're going to get yourself in trouble. I was just talking with my therapist, and it's funny because when I talk to my therapist, we talk about her problems too. It's just, I don't mind. In fact, I kind of enjoy it. Right. Because, pride, ego. When I'm done with therapy, I'm usually very honest, but I'm pretty honest anyway, right? So speak with integrity, mean what you say and say what you mean. Okay. Now there was a little situation where inside they had a valve. They were trying to replace a water valve. Well, in order to do that, the outside water needed to be turned off. So they made the phone call. Public Works comes out. And not only did they not fix it, they broke the valve outside. Then they found out that they did not ask the HOA for their permission to do it because it was private property. Of course, they're Public Works and they don't need your fucking permission, by the way. You know, when I installed phones and did telephony, if I was at the next door neighbor's house and I need to come into your yard, I had every right. I didn't have to say shit to you. I could just jump in your backyard and do whatever. Now, of course, you knock on the door. If they're not home, I always left a note saying, hey, I had to go into your backyard to do this. You know, so that way that at least they knew somebody was in their yard, right? So now everybody's pointing the finger. And what it comes down to is this. Somebody fucked up and they're going to lose their job. So they don't want to be honest. That's what it comes down to. Okay. That's not integrity. Yeah. I'm telling the truth, even if it's going to hurt you. It's hard. And avoid gossip. It's a big one for me. I love drama. Love it. I watch drama. That's why I watch a lot of drama. There's nothing better than a good dramatic story to get me all weepy-eyed. You know, it just is, you know. I'll call it what it is. But gossip, that means pretty much talking about other people. If it's good, is it still gossip? No. What would the definition of gossip be? Let's find out. I can't use my phone because I'm using it already. And I haven't figured out how to have 2 pages open at once because I don't give a fuck. What were we looking up? A definition of gossip. Casual or unconstrained conversation or reports about other people, typically involving that details that are not confirmed to be true. Okay. So when we say something that just isn't quite true about somebody. I'm glad you made it, Leisure. Awesome, man. And this was your suggestion, so I'm glad that you made it. What do we call it in the big book? It says it's a form polite of character assassination. It usually means I'm making an assumption, right? I was actually kind of just talking with my therapist about this because somebody wanted to go with us to one of the things that I was doing. I'm not even going to bring up where, and they kind of invited themselves, right? But more the merrier in that case. It was. I'm like, oh, cool, because you know they're friends with the anyway, right? I don't trust them at all because I'm looked at their page but that doesn't really determine who they are, right? And the thing is they canceled, right? And they couldn't make it to what we were doing. It was a tour. And they were really excited about it and wanted to be a part of it, but they didn't say anything to me. They didn't say anything to me, right? And I kind of took it as something else. And who knows? It might be something else. My intuition says I'm wrong. That I'm correct on this shit. But anyway, but that would be gossip. Me putting my own spin on it. Calling somebody toxic, name calling is gossip. When I apply a name to somebody else that's in a negative connotation or that I do not know to be true. And the last one here, or speaking against yourself. What we say to ourselves matters. What we say to ourselves matters. It absolutely does. Right? Shouldn't be calling yourself names. No. In fact, that's probably the worst thing that you can do for yourself. Because the more you call yourself a name, that's what you will become. Right? For years, even into my recovery, I called myself an asshole. And people still to this day think I'm an asshole. Okay? Because I said that. You know, they went along with it. They supported Dion being an asshole. In fact, some people even thought it was funny. Right? Like a serious funny. You know, I'm one of those people where if I yell at that person, this person usually tends to giggle because they're not the one getting the wrath of Dion. It isn't because they think it's funny, it's because they're nervous, right? But speaking against yourself, there's a difference between rigorous honesty and speaking of yourself, right? Now, if I say, "Hey, I'm being selfish," I'm kind of feeling selfish, and I'm throwing a little bit of a pity party here. Okay, that is me recognizing something. If I say, "Oh, I'm an asshole and I'm good for nothing," now I'm name calling. Okay, so be very careful how you speak to yourself. It leads to low self-esteem. Don't call those names that everybody else called you that they thought that you were. What was that? That was gossip, and it's not true. Don't take anything personally. Out of these four, this is the hardest for me. My PTSD does not want to go with it. It wants to deny it. In fact, it even came up in therapy where it was like, okay, Dion, did this person, and I'll use the person I was talking about before, because my thought process was this. Oh, they brought it up to somebody else and they're like, oh, stay away from that dude. Okay. But why does that happen? Because it's happened a lot in the past. So why would it be any different now? Well, they're a different person. My therapist brought up to me sometimes people will see these things differently where it's like, okay, we were getting, her boyfriend and her were getting, she's like, okay, do you think we should get a new dog? Right. Well, and I agreed with her on the fact that if we're talking about getting a new dog and it's plausible, we're doing it. To me, that's a plan. Okay. I'm taking notes. I'm like, yeah, we got them there. And we're making plans where some people aren't doing that. They're just caught up in the excitement with what's going on. Aha. Well, this helps me out a little bit, doesn't it? You know what? Maybe I just got this person excited, and the excitement wore off. Okay. Now, the reason that they didn't show was a very plausible reason. I almost said excuse because I want to be mean, but it's a reason, not an excuse. Very plausible reason, right? So I was in that case probably taking things a little too personally. Right? Now, did that shit happen in the past? Is that fact? Yes, it is. Okay. Now, but for me as an alcoholic who tends to take things to the extreme, what will I take this to? I will take it to the point of paranoia. Everybody's out to get me. And I did feel that way at one point in my life. I did for a few years. It's horrible, man. It was horrible. Because even the people that love you the most are the fucking enemy. Right. And it's tough. It's tough. Because I'm trying to get out of this mindset of people being in the field that they're guilty until proven innocent. I've had to do that for years for my own protection. But I don't need that anymore. So I'm trying to switch that to where, hey, maybe they're on the right side and we can move forward, right? And what that'll do, well, it'll help me not to take things personally, right? And I like the way they put this. What others do or say is a projection of their own reality, not a reflection of you. See, everybody has a different perception of this world. If, especially if, now I'm a white male, especially if you are a female of a different ethnicity, then your perception is much different of this world is much different than mine. It is. Absolutely. You know, what you've been through, your traumas, right? So bring a little bit of understanding into it. But what other people, what's saying, what other people have to say about you is none of your business. I don't necessarily agree with that either. Doesn't mean I'm right. I'm just saying I don't agree. Oh, Leisure, quit jumping to the end. Quit jumping. I'm just kidding. Yeah, by living in the moment, you can accomplish all these agreements. Now, he says that because there's going to be work that needs to be done before you can actually truly live in the moment. There's work to be done. It's the 12 steps. It's the 12 steps is the work I'm talking about on that. All right. So I can't take anything personally. Right now I have a situation. I'm kind of taking it personally. All right. So my daughter's thinking about moving. She's moving in with my ex-wife, and I do not like this idea. I do not like it. Okay. And I am taking it personally. And I have every right to take it personally, but that doesn't mean it's correct. See, people can change. People can change. I changed. That person can change too, can they not? Yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah, I agree with that. Now, if I would have focused on whether my husband believed me or not, I got drunk. Yeah. Well, and utilizing other people's and their opinions to remain sick. Yeah. You know, and that just leads us back to, gosh, weren't we really good at creating excuses to drink? Yes. I was great at it. In fact, if there was a number one ability I had, it was creating shit. All right. You know, and it's hard to get to this point. It's hard to get to this point if you were abused a lot growing up, if you were picked on or went through some other kind of trauma. That's what makes it even more important. Yes, they can. Can they all fold into the serenity prayer? Yes, they can. There again, everything fits. All right. Recovery is one big puzzle where every piece fits, no matter where you put it. No matter where you put it. So really, it isn't so much, oh, this piece needs to go there. It's this piece belongs here because this is how my picture looks. This is how my puzzle looks. So both you and I, we get the same puzzle pieces, but my puzzle will look different than your puzzle. All right? Don't make assumptions. You know what they say about assuming? It makes an ass out of you and me. I hate that line. I hate it. Doesn't mean it's not true. But if we think about that, and I'm just having a little fun here. Okay, let's say I assume something about Scott Leisure. Okay. Does that make an ass out of him? No, he didn't assume shit. He didn't assume shit. I did. So assuming doesn't make an ass out of you and me. It just makes an ass out of the person assuming. All right, but because it's you and me in the line, right? So I can't make assumptions. Yeah, my side of the street. I got to be on my side. That's right. And this is the way it works. What I'm going to do. You remember when you were growing up? Hey, can I go to Timmy's house and play? Well, you got to clean your room first. There we are. Hey, can I invite Timmy over? Well, you got to clean your room first, right? Because I got to clean my side of the street. And then that way, when Timmy comes over, be like, oh, this is how my side of the street is supposed to look, huh? Yeah. Oh. You know, what other people, I would assume what other people were saying too. You bet I would. I would just assume it. Right? Yeah. Now you can usually tell when somebody's that way because while you're talking, all right, there's an assumption going on. There is a preconceived notion. Assumptions are stories that don't always reflect the full picture of what is going on. In AA, we call this contempt prior to investigation. And it is not, I want to say, all inclusive to the spiritual experience. Contempt prior to investigation is anything that I am deciding to have a closed mind on, and I will not listen to what the other side has to say. All right. Leader says, I'm not going to take it personally. and what your thoughts are completely separate from my thoughts, all I can do is expel unconditional love. And if I do that, everything else falls into place. You're on a roll there, Leisure. You're on a roll. Yeah. Hey, yeah, okay. Here's one. How about those videos where you see people acting weird in the street and people, oh, they're on drugs and see, we're already assuming. We're already assuming. People tend to assume what other people need all the time without ever asking. I see it happen all the time, especially among the homeless. Oh, they need a roof over their head. No, they just want somebody to fucking talk to, man. They just want to belong, just like everybody. They want to be treated like a human being, just like everybody else in the world, just like everybody else. And who knows if that person acting weird, if that's addiction, it could be mania, it could be schizophrenia, it could be a lot of different things. Okay. But I can tell you this, I do not find mental illness funny in any form. I don't. No. Okay. I will make fun of my own mental illnesses. If we go to a comedy club and the guy standing up there is a recovering alcoholic too, he gets to get away with some jokes. Right? He gets to get away with some things, right? Yeah. Okay. That's not really the assumption that we're making here. All right. It's when I think I know better without really putting any thought into it. Okay. Or I can compare, well, these people did that. So this person, right? Well, then, oh, and you don't go live till tomorrow, Leisure. So you better save it up or go live tonight, man. You could do 2 in a week. It's okay. I went live. This is my 3rd live today. I'm just doing the reason I keep going live and I'm filling up my time. I don't want to give myself a chance to hop on social media. I want to give myself, I'm too reactive today. Okay. And there's only one concern left that's on my plate, and that's making sure that that I talk with my daughter and that I understand why she's doing what she's doing. I cannot make any assumptions about that. Okay. What I do have is fears. So I'll stick with the fears only. Okay. And I'm going to even then have to ask God for the right words. And I'm probably going to have to qualify it of, hey, your dad's kind of a little weird today. So please forgive me if I seem off. My daughter and I have a good enough relationship that we can do that. Okay. It is also not for me to take away the grandkids from my ex, which actually didn't go through my mind, but gosh, it could pretty quick. I don't. It's hard because a lot of times I want justice, but if I really talk about it, it's revenge. And I know that makes sense to you folks. Here's the last one. Always do your best, even when your best isn't good enough. Step 6 and 7. I know I've been bringing up perfection a lot, but that's usually because um, I'm doing 6 and 7 with a sponsee, right? I've been talking about perfection a lot lately, so I'm not going to go too much into that. But doing your best with what you have that day, there's something to be said about that, man. Right? I got to understand my own limitations, right? Because like what I want is to open a halfway house for homeless alcoholics. What I want to do is write a book. What I want to do, see, listen to all these wants. Listen to all these wants. Okay. But the question would be this, hey, Dion, would you be able to go to that house every single day and do this and do it? And no, I would not be able to. So therefore, I need to take it off my list, right? Therefore, it's not something that is plausible, right? I'm going to check something here real quick. Okay. Man, we got 5 people on YouTube. YouTube's kicking ass for me, man. It seems like ever since I shut down the Trudging Together group, I've had more people showing up. Kind of weird, right? All right. So always doing your best. Try your best. Trying your best helps you see when you're falling short or trying too hard. Hmm. You know, it's quite often that my therapist, not as much anymore lately, but that she'll ask me, Dion, is that what you really want? Is that really something that you want? Yeah. See, leisure, I'm telling you, go live tonight, dude. Go live tonight if you can. Just suggestion. I'm not telling you what to do, even though I'm telling you what to do. That's great, man. If you always give your best, there's nothing to question. There's no worry on whether you could have done better because you did your best. And when we go to bed as people who felt useless all of our lives, knowing that we did everything that we could, we can find serenity. And that is where calamity and serenity can work together. Yeah. It's where calamity and serenity can meet mutually and work together to find a solution. Because if I just have calamity or I just have serenity, that's what I have. Okay. And it's one of the promises that we will suddenly realize that God is doing for not that one. Um, it's the one where we find out that we had more skills than we thought. Right. Let's do this. Let's just go to the promises. I'm going to go to the third step promises. Right. See, do we have anything else to say on this? What is the theme of the four agreements? That's not a theme. That's just them repeating. What religion are the four agreements based on? I don't think it was based on any kind of religion. Native American. So it's spiritual. It's not Christian, but Native American in its spirituality. That would make a lot more sense. It really would. That would make a lot more sense, right? Maybe you'll read some poetry. What are the four rules of life? Be impeccable with your word. Don't take any. I like how they're just changing it so that people. All right. Been a while since I've kind of covered the third step promises, and I like to do them a little bit different. This trick was taught. I learned this from somebody in the program, and what they said was just change the pronouns. Change the pronouns, right? To instead of we and they and us to I and me. Well, you'll know. You'll know. That's the thing. If you're being honest with yourself, you'll know, right? Your intuition will tell you, right? So sometimes you'll hear me come on here and say, I know I've gone live a lot, I've done this, but I get this, my gut tells me I'm not done. Because I'm not. And I should listen to that. Now at the same time, I've got to understand, okay, have I reached my limit also? Or am I overdoing it? The indication for me is if I have to think about what I'm saying. Yeah, it's based off Toltec. Absolutely it is. It said it in there. I just didn't bring it up. So and Toltec is, I always think Toltec is a person. What is Toltec philosophy? Is a way of thinking that originates in ancient Mexico and emphasizes personal freedom, self-love, and transcendence. So peyote. One thing I didn't try. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the pronouns in this. All right. And I am going to kind of cover them at the same time. Okay. When I sincerely took such position, let's go to the paragraph before so I know what position I had to take. This is the how and why of it. First, we had to quit playing God. That's the first thing. Right? And there's going to be two things here. It didn't work. Next, we decided that hereafter in this drama of life, there's that drama again, God was going to be our director. That is the position. And then they give you a couple of them. Okay, so he can be the director. He is the principal. We are his children. He can be the principal. He is the father, and we are, he is the principal. We are his agents. He is the father, and we are his children. That's the one that got me. Okay, most good ideas are simple, and this is simple. And this concept was the keystone of the new and triumphant arc through which we pass to freedom. So that is the position that they're talking about. So when I sincerely took a position, does that mean all the way in? No. Yeah, absolutely, Leisure. It is. It's not a religion, it's a spiritual concept like Buddhism. Yeah, because Buddhism is not a religion, it's a concept. It's a way of life. So when I sincerely took such a position, all sorts of remarkable things followed. So the promises come from that sincere position. And sincere, and it's not all the way in, it's not jumping off a cliff. It's not, for me, it wasn't. It was just, I don't know anymore. And a little bit of humility. And that humility is, I don't know anymore, God. I need your help. That's humility. God, I need your help, man. Can you help me get sober? I need to get sober, man. I need to do this. Okay. I had a new employer, which is good because I was a horrible employee beforehand. Being all powerful, he provided what I needed. If I kept close to him and performed his work well. Needed, not wanted. Needed. So I have to understand what my needs are, right? I'm going to give a great example of this, right? You know me and my examples. I love to use examples. Let me check that. Okay. Oh, that was a question, by the way. See, there's my daughter being just like dad. That works because, yeah, she needs to know. I meant to do that earlier, but I did not, right? So he provided what I needed. Okay. I don't work in the conventional sense that I make money. Every now and again, I make money here and there. It's not anything that really pays the bills. It's more, helps pay off stuff. Absolutely. But I get paid a different way, but my needs are taken care of. Okay. Restream costs money. Podbean costs money. Okay. It costs money to put out my podcast. It does. Not a lot. Okay. The website costs money. Zoom costs money. All this stuff costs money. Okay. And somehow every single month it still gets paid. That's God working in my life. Okay. I live in a 5-bedroom house where I get to take care of 2 of my kids and my grandchild. And this is because I do a lot of service work. A lot of service work. Yeah, I uprooted my life. I had things going on in Aurora, but God called me to Adams County. Here I am. Okay. And Barb, God bless her heart, who we moved in to take care of, she pretty much told her son, when I'm gone, that house is theirs. Okay. Now, what I'd like to do is turn this house into some kind of residential treatment. That's what I'd like to do. Right. So, but that's if I kept close to him and performed his work well. Established on such a footing, I became less and less interested in myself. Then we just kind of talk about that in the 4 agreements. Being not, it isn't thinking less of yourself, it's thinking of yourself less. That's what it comes down to. Yeah, now I could see, now that my assumptions and everything have ended, and I'm looking at things the right way, now I can understand how I can help instead of battling. So instead of trying to play God, I asked God, and he told me. I became less and less interested in myself, my little plans and designs, and I had a lot. I must have drove my sponsor crazy when I came in because I have an idea a minute, and I wouldn't stop. And you know what he kept telling me? No. I'm glad he did. I'm glad that he did because he was right. See, in the beginning, God kept telling me no. Then after a little while, it was not yet. Now it's usually yes because my will is in line with God's will, so that is what he wants. Okay. It isn't about what I want, it's about what God wants. But what's weird is now I tend to usually get what I want. Isn't that weird? No, it's not. It's faith. It is faith. I get paid in faith. I get paid in belief. Okay. And that's worth more money that's out there. Belief is a lot more. Hey Ingrid, good to see you. Glad you can make it. No, you've been busy. More and more, I became interested in seeing what I could contribute to life. I was no longer useless. I was no longer useless. Now I'm a useful member of society. More and more, I became interested in seeing what I could contribute. As I felt new power flow in, as I enjoyed peace of mind, as I discovered I could face life successfully, as I became conscious of his presence, I began to lose my fear of today, tomorrow, hereafter I was reborn. What does it mean? It means now I can live in the moment. That last line just means I can now live in the moment. I don't have a fear of tomorrow. It ain't here yet. All right. I tend to seem to have a lot of people that get DUIs. Most of my sponsors, and every time, my court date's coming, my court date's coming, my court date's coming. And what I do is I try to teach them, you got to be in the now, or you're not going to enjoy that time with your wife or with your kids, or when you go bowling with the boys, or when you go play Dungeons and Dragons, or these other things that you do. Okay. You got to lose that fear. Okay. So, you know, first offense, never been in trouble. You know, well, they say I could do 10 days. I'm like, and for me, I'm just like, you're kidding, 10 days? You're kidding, what? You can do 10 days sitting. That's a nap. And it's jail, not prison. It's not like you're going to DOC. But the point is, hey, then you got to be okay with that. Then accept it now that you might do jail time and be okay with it now because it's the only place that you're going to find peace. The only place. Now we're going to do the 9th step. Promises. Yes, I also get paid in serenity. Yes, I do. Every now and again, somebody donates to. Every now and again, somebody donates. All right, 9th step promises. This will be on page 83. Now, what I have never done is doesn't matter. Let's go through them. It might be kind of quick because I got to pee. If we are painstaking about this phase of our development, we will be amazed before we are halfway through. Painstaking doesn't mean that it needs to be pain. Painstaking means arduous. It means that we're going to go look it up so we can get what we're talking about, right? Done with employing great care or thoroughness. Okay, so great care and thoroughness. Well, what are the watchwords? Fearless and thorough. There we go. Well, didn't we lose the fear of today, tomorrow, hereafter? There we go. See, it fits. We're going to know a new freedom and a new happiness. It's a big one. We will not regret the past nor wish to shut the door on it because you settled your past. You know what I love about reading step 6 in the 12 by 12? It gives you a pretty big compliment. Let's read it real quick. I really need to pee. It's all right. I've been holding my pee for 54 years. That's not true. I was a bedwetter till 11, so that's not quite true. All right, so, and I'm just going to say this real quick. This is the step that separates the men from the boys. So declares a well-loved clergyman who happens to be one of AA's greatest friends. He goes on to explain that any person capable of enough willingness and honesty to try repeatedly step 6 on all of his faults without reservation has indeed come a long way spiritually and is therefore entitled. You get a little bit, you get to be entitled. Doesn't give you power or anything like that. It's not entitlement. To be called a man who is sincerely trying to grow in the image and likeness of his own creator. I love that line, I love that paragraph. I'm big on that one, and that applies to that. Will not regress, nor we will comprehend the word serenity, and we will know peace. There it is. I get paid in serenity because I comprehend serenity. Okay. You ever seen those people that are very calm in these situations? It's you. It's you. You get to do this now. And now you comprehend the word strength. I didn't even comprehend it before because I didn't know what it felt like. But when you get that new happiness and that new freedom, yeah. No matter how far down the scale we've gone, we'll see how our experience can benefit others. This is not a challenge, but the further you go down, the more you can go up, the more you can help. I was just telling my therapist, I plan on writing a book, but the intent is the book is that I have had an arduous life. It has been fucking tough. Well, a lot of it I did to me. And I want you to avoid the pitfalls. I do. I want my kids to avoid the pitfalls. It's quite often I tell them, remember dad used to do this? Yeah, well, yeah. Remember it didn't work for me? Oh, yeah. Right? Because I'm no longer ashamed of my past and I didn't shut the door on it. So I can say that, right? That feeling of uselessness and self-pity will disappear. It has not entirely disappeared for me, right? As far as my alcoholism goes, yes. As far as my other mental illnesses, not quite there yet. We will lose interest in selfish things and gain interest in our fellows. Yeah, what we do is we seek outwards to be better people. We see somebody on the side of the road, we stop and give them help. Okay, and we don't record it so that we can put it on our Facebook. Okay, self-seeking will slip away. Okay, my self-seeking motives for money, fame, prestige, kittens. One of my cats' names, he thinks it's kitten. My cats know their names. It's weird. My wife brought that up today. Our whole attitude and outlook upon life will change. We have new intentions. We have new intentions, man. And so it will change. It can also be very frustrating. It can also be very frustrating. And some days people are just going to piss you the fuck off because you can see the truth. You can see it. You can, you can't bullshit us, maybe for a little while, but sooner or later we're going to figure it out quicker than most other people. What I'm saying is you can't bullshit a bullshitter. And that includes an ex-bullshitter. Yeah. Fear of people and of economic insecurity will leave us. Seems to be the big one for everybody. Not necessarily the people. Well, I don't know. I still get social anxiety. Okay. But I don't fear them. I don't feel like they're coming after me. That paranoia is gone. I don't think there's a group of people out there that formed a Facebook group called Destroy Dion's Life and Everything He's About. I used to. I thought of myself that much. Right? We will intuitively know how to handle situations which used to baffle us. When I worked with sponsees in the beginning, I tell them, we're going to be doing some things and I'm going to be teaching you some skills, but you're not going to understand or even know that you have these skills until something comes along where you can utilize them. I call it the Karate Kid effect. Right? All I do is wax on, wax out. I've been, excuse me, I've been picking up my coat and putting it down and putting it on and doing all this. And well, wax on. Whoa, oh, holy shit. I didn't know I could do that. That's so cool. Throw another one. Throw another one. And then we get invigorated with life because we actually have the fucking answers now. And that is exciting to us. So that is the Karate Kid effect, right? We will suddenly realize that God is doing for us what we could not do for ourselves. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. Sawyer, get over yourself, dude. He's growling at another guy. So, all right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I didn't know it had been 50 minutes. See, it's weird because when I get going, I lose concept of time. I do. So, I love you too, Ingrid. It was good. I'm glad that you could make it. So, thank you, everybody. I love you. You know I do. Peace out. And